Hi everyone, and welcome back to our rainy Pula and another episodes of Anna&Fil travels aboard GoodGirl. This week we are back in full DIY mode, as we are preparing the boat before leaving the marina. And as always aboard GoodGirl, every project leads to another project, which leads to another project, which leads to questioning all your life choices. Hi everyone, we're Anna&Fil and say hello to Captain Gaston, our fluffy cat. We love traveling, and after a life as everyday city dwellers, we decided to change our lifestyle and bought a sailboat to become Liveaboard and keep on traveling. Follow along as we combine work and adventures aboard our Malo 42 GoodGirl. First up, a project that has been patiently waiting since last summer. The Cork Panels I had prepared for the helm seat, or the lazaret hatch, were finally ready to be glued in place. Or so I thought. The moment I started, I noticed the fiberglass underneath had cracked in a few spots, so before anything else it was time to lay down a couple of new sheets to properly reinforce the base. No shortcuts on this boat. This is not your ordinary cork either. This is a specific marine-grade material, heavy, incredibly resistant and completely waterproof, built to last. Once glued in place, it actually looked really sharp. And this is just the trial run. I think we're onto something here. Let me know what you think. So this is the main or guest bathroom, and there is basically a corner here that is not utilized. So what I'm doing right now, I'm doing some kind of a little new shelving that can be installed right behind it in order to occupy this space. This is the starting of it, so I already cut 3 main compartments and now we'll continue. So after rounding the edges and sanding everything, it's now time to give it a little bit of a tint to make it more look like the original teak inside the boat. After carefully templating the shape with paper, I cut the shelves, got them as square as a human is possible, and glued everything in place. A couple of coats of varnish later and the result is generally pleasing. Clean, practical and very much at home aboard. Now the lining. I didn't film the gluing process and trust me, you should be thanking me for that. It was significantly harder than expected, and my choice of vocabulary throughout was colorful to say the least. The result, however, speaks for itself, and that is all that matters. A little bit of a bubble over here, I couldn't figure this out. In some cases there is some notches because I was just hanging with my hands in order to stabilize everything, and they actually remain. Maybe they will come out, I don't know. And welcome to beautiful plumbing on a boat. This is the new valve. We are making a double connections. One that comes from the toilet, the other one that goes inside the septic. This is the valve from the sink, and this is the water inlet, which was already plumbed when we put the boat, before putting the boat back in the water. As you can see, it's pretty tight, but nevertheless, it's possible. So this morning I decided to start another little project, which is a box that I can attach onto the steering wheel frame instead of the table, so that when we're sailing I can remove the table. Well, we have to remove the table when we're sailing, but I would love to have somewhere where I can put glasses or sunglasses, cream or something like that. So this morning I decided to make some measurements and I prepared already the framing of the box. So this is the result after measuring, cutting, and now I'm actually gluing. Everything is perfectly squared, so now we need to let it there for a few hours so that the glue will be hard and we can continue with the project. The morning after, I was woken up by a strong Bura, and despite the sun shining, the boat was rocking, and trying to balance a phone on a tripod to film the cockpit box progress, not happening. So I will skip straight to the final result. A few layers of varnish, looking clean and solid. Let me know in the comments what you think and whether something similar could work on your boat. Now for the fun one, the new stickers for Bad Boy arrived, and this was genuinely exciting. As regulation requires, a tender that is not individually registered must be identified as part of its mother vessel. So officially, he is tender 2, GoodGirl. But far more importantly, he finally has his proper name on the hull. Bad Boy, the perfect name, no further questions. And this is me making very accurate measurements in order to have both stickers on both sides looking exactly the same. These are the typical jobs that eventually takes no real effort, but it really gives you a lot of satisfaction. And last but absolutely not least, the new Bimini, or better Cockpit cover, is finally installed. Now matching the spray hood perfectly and looking as good as it possibly can. A huge thank you to Ale for the outstanding work. It really has transformed the cockpit. But as always, aboard GoodGirl, the project list never gets shorter, it just gets more interesting. Next up, the shaft seal. And believe me, this one is an adventure entirely on its own, so stay tuned.
So this is a little bit the issue with the leaking shaft that I have at this moment. First of all, it's in a very uncomfortable position, as you can see, so it's really inside the double berth that we have on our stern, and on top of that it's very far from being able to reach with the hands, because we have the water heater right on top of it. So I'll show you a little bit more.
If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and hit subscribe. We are so close to 100 subscribers and every single one means a world to us. And if you have any questions about any of the projects in this video, drop them in the comments down below. We're going to be very happy to answer them. Ciao for now, fair winds and following seas.